Hey guys, and welcome to the Hobby News. Alright, so Adepticon had its reveals, and here they are. So I've just selected a few from that that I thought were pretty interesting to follow on from the last news vid that we did on the Ash Wastes Nomads, and they've shown the full I guess gang now, and which is pretty cool. We're going to go through that in a second. Plus some Underworlds, a little bit of Nighthaunt, and then to finish up, I guess an old favorite of mine and something I've wanted for a very long time. Some Horus Heresy stuff that's, I guess, near and dear to my heart. So that's really cool that they're going to be doing that for Horus Heresy, but we'll get to that later and what it is. I'm sure you all know anyway. But yeah, let's start with Necromunda. So the Ash Waste reveal in full at Adepticon. Yeah, so we've got the full gang. We've got the box here that comes with, yeah, some great terrain. Like, this is kind of nice. These sort of little hab dome additions here with the gantry ways, the little walkways there. Yeah, it's cool. As I said, it opens up, I guess, a new environment for Necromunda and something that people can get into, and that's really cool. And also vehicles and larger miniatures here, which we're going to have a look at, which is kind of unusual for Necromunda. It kind of reminds me of a little bit of Gorkamorka. You know, you've got sort of the addition of these, I guess, four-wheel track vehicles and so on, and yeah, and these really interesting new little creatures here, which we'll take a look at. So, but first, we've got the Ash Wastes Nomads. So, yeah, as I was saying, these have got a lot of different influences in their design. I just watched Dune the other night, and you know, it's even got some Dune vibes. You know what I mean? There's a lot of you know, little tip of the hat or nods here to other sci-fi worlds that utilize this type of design aesthetic, and you know, but still they've made it unique to their own. You know, they haven't just gone for a one-to-one. We're seeing, you know, very much a 40k inspired design here for sure. You wouldn't I guess confuse it. All the really important details for 40k are there. But we've got some new little features as well. So, you know, yeah, some really nice looking stuff here. We've got this new kind of, I guess, chain halberd sort of weapon here, which is a nice design, and again with little hazard stripes and so on, which is cool. So yeah, you know, they got a lot of character, and I can see many people wanting to utilize these for all kinds of things, not just Necromunda. There's a lot of great little parts here. You know, even in this, like little things hanging off them, these little, I guess, air canisters and so on could be very useful. So yeah, lots of great looks and poses. We've got the running pose, you know, the stand and shoot kind of pose here. Yeah, all really cool. I like these ones with the arms separated. Gives you more choice in terms of conversion and other little things that you might want to do with it. That's really good. You know, you don't want all of the models to be in this kind of more, I guess, classic miniature pose where the weapon is across the body. Having them separate like that on this one here is nice, because it just gives you, yeah, that little bit more choice, right? But yeah, all in all, pretty fun models. You know, there's yeah, enough range here, enough variety to do different things. Even this is an interesting sort of missile launcher here, a little different from the usual design, which is nice. Again, Necromunda is one of those sort of side games or sub games that you can explore some of the other technology that exists in the 40k world, in the Imperium. You know, it's not just all Space Marine tech and Imperial Guard tech generally. There's a whole range of, you know, I guess, Imperial houses that do all kinds of other sorts of technology and developments that aren't quite what we normally see in the 40k game. So yeah, little tiny side deviations, like some of these weapons that look a little different. That's really nice to see. You know, it just shows that variety that exists in the 40k world, because it spans, you know, many worlds, and you're going to get variety, not just all the one look. So that's really cool. So we'll see what else have we got. Yeah, so these looks like there's maybe, I would say maybe 4 different body types, maybe more. Yeah, maybe just different bodies to leg variation, but we've got the sort of standing, the shooting, and then the running pose so far, which is cool. And this weapon is interesting. I'm not sure, this might be a special weapon. It looks a little different than a normal las. Yeah, I'm not sure what this is. Maybe like a mining laser of some sort, or some sort of yeah, that's an interesting weapon. I guess we'll find out what that is when they're released. But yeah, really nice. You know, there's a lot of, you know, nice little design choices here. And, you know, as I said, you know, I guess it depends on how much these cost, right? So if you want to use these as cultists and that sort of thing, like I was talking about, you know, Nurgle cultists, that sort of stuff, yeah, it depends on how much they cost. But, you know, if you're lucky enough to live in England or something like that, where the cost is, I guess, still okay. If you're in Australia like me, then, you know, this might be a little bit expensive to use these as cultists. But, yeah, at least some countries around the world will still be able to use that as an option. So that's pretty cool. Let's see what else they've got. So we've got these buggies as well, yeah. So that's also interesting. Let's see what they say about it. This is the first time we've ever been outdoors on Necromunda yet, and the wide open spaces allow for completely different type of fighting. The box includes a full gang from House of Iron, and they're accompanied by a whole new breed of ganger. Time to finally break out the dune buggies. Yeah, okay, cool. So they're going to start to explore that in Necromunda. That's interesting. I wonder what the rules will be for these kind of vehicles, and how the balance is going to be for, you know, that might make it a bit overpowered because we're talking about a small board. This has got a lot of mobility, you know, and weapons and so on. It might end up being, you know, yeah, a little bit of imbalance. So we'll see what happens with the rules, but still, it's a great idea. I like it. I think that's, yeah, got a lot of possibilities there. I was already thinking about, you know, Ash Nomads, using them as, using the Gene Stealer cult rules and doing like a whole army of that, right? That'd be a really fun one because they definitely have a similar aesthetic in terms of just generally how they are, and, you know, the converge you could do. It'd be very easy to create a force like that using that codex. That'd be really interesting. And then we've got these, which is, yeah, really great. I like seeing some of the other creatures that exist in 40k that aren't just in the armies. This is a really nice one. So, like, for those that don't know, I'm a sculptor and I love creature design and sculpting these types of forms, organic shapes. Yeah, this is really fun. So, you know, you've got the carapace here, and then all these little limbs and so on interlocking into a kind of, I guess, almost cockroach-like structure under there, or maybe cricket-like structure, and then curling around. Yeah, really interesting. The sculptor would have had a lot of fun sculpting this one for sure. And then a nice variation on the helmet here with this sort of almost sort of bowl Star Warsy kind of helmet going on there, which is fun. Yeah, let's see if they've got any other shots of it. Yeah, so yeah, really nice. I think this is cool. So this is, I guess, the balance, right? What I was just talking about. So you've got these gangs that have these sort of like larger creatures versus the buggies. It'd be interesting whether they give any other gangs any other sorts of larger model kits like this to balance out that. But yeah, I really like this. I think this is a really great beginning for Necromunda to expand it and move it into other directions, which is really fun. So yeah, looks like to be a really nice kit. You got some really cool ideas. You know, even Imperial Guard armies with this would be really fun. I mean, the ideas are endless, right? Still going back to my good old favorite Nurgle. You know, you could do some really fun stuff with this for Nurgle for sure. Yeah, I mean, you know, wow, it's really cool to see. Again, I think that the sub games are where it's at when it comes to being able to explore fresh ideas and that sort of thing. And I'm sure the designers love going down these roads and you know, just exploring that. Even some of these terrain pieces and some of the accessory packs that they do for Necromunda are really interesting as well. Yeah, really cool. So I think that's yeah, really exciting for Necromunda, and I'm sure people that play it regularly are going to be, you know, really happy to see all this come out and you know, get into it, right? So yeah, I think we'll leave that there. That's pretty fun. Pretty happy with that. So let's move on to, you know, another subject that I really enjoy, which is Undead. And Underworlds has a new warband, one that I'll be definitely painting for the channel. You know, you'll see it. So we've got these, I guess, this mad scientist and his little motley band of undead creatures that he's risen in this sort of arc lightning thing that he seems to be doing. But this model is really fun. You know, we'll have a look at the warband as well, but this is where it's at. This is a fun model right here. This is the sort of necromantic kind of characters that I really enjoy. If you check out the link in the description, Blight of Gods, which is my brand, you'll see that I'm a big fan of this type of necromantic design. My whole brand is based on necromancy and death and demons and things like that, and this follows in that same sort of vein that I really enjoy doing. So, you know, all of this sort of thing, the combination of a little bit of sort of, I guess, almost alchemy or biomancy, I don't know what you'd call it, sort of I guess a little bit of steampunk in there as well, just this sort of slight tech in the designs of the magical artifice, and then combining that with the organic and all of these kind of shapes is really interesting to me. I like all that combination, and yeah, this guy will be really fun. I'm definitely going to be painting him for the channel, so look out for that. But yeah, what a nice addition to the AOS world to start exploring this particular angle on necromancy, which is a fun one, right? It's that whole sort of Frankenstein aesthetic, looking at rising things from a more biomechanical kind of leniency, I guess, in some ways. We see it here with these sort of additions. We've seen this figure before, sort of, empowering them, I guess, with this sort of lightning energy to make them move. Really interesting. You can do a lot of fun things with these. I would say that this warband, it's not setting the world on fire. It's pretty standard sort of zombie fare, but that's fine. That's a lot of fun. They're always good to paint. But I think the real star of the show for this warband definitely is the leader. I like this little guy here doing his little golem thing, stepping up onto the step there. But this is where it's at. This is a really fun one. So you'll definitely see this on the channel for sure. So yeah, I'm very happy about that. That's really cool. Hopefully they come pretty soon. I don't think it says here anywhere when they're coming, but I'm sure it'll be within a month or something like that probably. So that's really cool. So I guess we'll move on. Let's get into some Nighthaunt, another topic which I enjoy. So another death faction that's really cool to paint, right? I mean, I don't think anyone would argue that the Nighthaunt range is some of the most beautiful models that they do, and really evocative, regardless of their rules in game. And this guy here is just another fun example of where the sculptors and designers really go to town on exploring some ideas. And it's got a lot of classic I guess tropey ideas in there too, the boat and the spirits and all of that, but done in a unique way, which is really fun. And that's part of what design and artists do. We're always thinking about classic, I guess, archetypes or ideas that are in fantasy, and then trying to recombine them in a way that's interesting while still touching on the familiar, right? And that does this well. The sculptors have done a good job of that. We're seeing a lot of familiar shapes and forms here, but then they're sort of just, moving it along, giving it some unique character, this sort of ferryman or boatman sort of idea. A lot of fun. We've got the incorporation of these little the rose and thorns, which is in a lot of the other Nighthaunt models. The boat is great. I love the idea of it. I don't know what rules this one's going to have, but regardless of all that, he'd be really fun to paint. So who knows? Maybe I'll do that on the channel too. I really love the colors. We're exploring some of my favorite colors, blues and greens. Moving through that palette is really fun. If you like that, and check out on my channel. I've done a lot of videos on that subject. But everything here is just a painter's dream, right? You've got all kinds of areas, flat spaces, detailed spots, interesting combinations of material. There's so much here that you can do to paint. You can do OSL and sort of atmospheric lighting and all kinds of spotlighting and, multi backlighting, all kinds of different setups here you could do for this one. The sky's the limit. So a lot of fun. I think this is definitely a winner for anyone that loves death or just that faction or side of AOS in general. Will like this model for sure. So let's move on now, and we'll go to the final one, which is, I guess, something which is surprisingly a long time coming, right? And that's plastic Beakie boys. The Mark 6 armor. I've talked about this before when they've hinted at this and other news vids that we've done on this subject, but they are definitely releasing it, and that's great. I'm not sure exactly when, but we're going to see it sometime this year. They've said that the new Horus Heresy is going to come, and this will be a plastic kit, which is amazing. And what I'm hoping for is that they've rescaled these to a more, I guess, a similar scale to the Primaris. That'll be really lovely. I'm old now, and any of us that are getting on, I've definitely enjoyed the increase in scale just from a painting point of view. I guess from a collection point of view, it is a bit annoying when you've got multiple scales with Space Marines, but just from a modeling and painting point of view, I really do enjoy that larger scale. It's much nicer to paint because I can actually see what I'm doing. The details are cleaner and larger, and just generally it's a lot nicer to work with. So I am happy that these are coming. Yeah, it's just going to be really great. I hope there's a lot of choice and a lot of different styles of this, so you can really go to town on some conversions. And, you know, when that comes, I'll probably end up doing some painting on the channel for it, but it will be Dark Angels for those that want to know. I'm an old school Dark Angel player, so I'm sorry that's come out, but, you know, that's what it is. That was the first Space Marine chapter I did when I was a kid, and one of the things that I really loved was the Beakie boys and doing them, you know, in that sort of classic dark green armor, and, you know, probably third company, we'll see what happens, but you know, that sort of thing. And I'm looking to do a few of these, so, you know, maybe just some like one-off single models, that sort of stuff, just like a small unit, that sort of thing, maybe expand it, who knows. But I think for a lot of us that grew up in that time when the Beakie Marines were a thing, there's a lot of nostalgia there. You know, there's a lot that comes along with this particular model, and as they allude in this article, the original kit. You know, if anyone's grown up with that and seen that and been a part of that as a kid, this has, you know, huge nostalgia value. So, you know, I definitely want to try it, and I guess that's what they're banking on, right? They've hit this on the head. You know, every single person like me that's been in that time period is going to have a very very soft spot for this particular design and miniature. So yeah, it's going to be cool. I'm going to enjoy it. It's going to be a fun time to be painting some models, and you'll definitely see some tutorials on the channel for sure. But unfortunately, they will be Dark Angel ones. So, you know, there is that. But I hope you've enjoyed this. It's been fun just to go through these. I just wanted to get something up and out and on the channel. It's out of my usual schedule time, but I just wanted to do it. So I hope you've liked everything that you've seen here, and you've got your own inspiration and ideas for your own hobby projects in the future. But yeah, it should be pretty cool. So anyway, please hit that like button, subscribe button. It really helps me out. And I guess I'll catch you on the next one.